The envelope trembled in my hands, crisp $100 bills spilling onto the hospice bed like forbidden secrets, $70,000 in cold cash that burned my fingertips with the weight of a dying man's desperation. Mr. Harlan Whitaker, his frail body sunken into the starched sheets, wheezed through cracked lips. "Take it, Sarah. For everything you've done. And what they'll do to you after I'm gone." His eyes, once sharp as a hawk's, now clouded with morphine haze, locked onto mine with a fury that jolted me, raw, unfiltered rage at some unspoken betrayal. I stood there in the dim room, the beep of monitors piercing the silence like accusations, the sterile scent of antiseptic clashing with the faint rot of impending death. Shock rooted me. This wasn't kindness. It was a weapon thrust into my unwilling grasp. Heartbreak surged as I realized. This gift was a curse, pulling me into a web of resentment I'd never asked for. I was 32, a home health aide scraping by in the underbelly of Boston's elite neighborhoods, where mansions loomed like judgmental giants over cracked sidewalks. Harlan had been my client for 2 years, a reclusive billionaire whose tech fortune built on shadowy deals I'd never probed. Our bond started professional, changing linens, administering meds, but evolved into something deeper, confessional. He'd ramble about his estranged son, Edward, a slick lawyer with ice in his veins, and his daughter-in-law, Vivian, whose beauty masked a viper's heart. I'd listen, nodding through the long nights, the creak of his antique four-poster bed echoing my exhaustion. But denial cloaked my growing attachment. He was just a job, I told myself, ignoring the paternal warmth in his stories. Now, with the cash in my lap, doubt crept in. Why me? Obsession flickered. What they would do gnawed at me like a hidden thorn. I stuffed the money into my bag, the leather straining under the bulk, and whispered, "Mr. Whitaker, this is too much. Your family." He cut me off, his grip surprisingly strong on my wrist, veins bulging like twisted ropes. "Family. They're vultures, Sarah. Promise you'll fight them." His voice cracked, revealing layers. Guilt for past sins, resentment toward those he'd raised. I nodded, fear knotting my stomach, the room's fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like swarming doubts. Was this manipulation? Moral conflict stirred. Accepting felt wrong, but refusing would dishonor his plea. As I left, rain lashed the windows, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. Home in my cramped apartment, the radiator hissing steam, I counted the bills under a flickering bulb. $70,000. Enough for a fresh start, but tainted. Inner thoughts raced. Fantasies of justice for his loneliness clashed with guilt over profiting from death. Harlan passed 3 days later, a quiet exhale in the night. The funeral was a spectacle at St. Mary's Cathedral, marble pillars towering under vaulted ceilings, the air thick with lilies and hypocrisy. Edward stood graveside, his tailored suit impeccable, Vivian clutching his arm like a trophy. Their eyes flicked to me. Dismissive, calculating. Humiliation burned as whispers circulated. "The aide? What's she doing here?" I lingered in the shadows, the cash hidden in a safe deposit box, its existence a secret gnawing at my resolve. At the reception in Harlan's sprawling estate, crystal glasses clinked amid polished oak panels, the scent of aged whiskey mingling with catered hors d'oeuvres. Edward approached, his smile a thin veneer. "Sarah, right? Dad spoke highly of you. Thanks for everything." His tone dripped condescension, revealing hidden motives, probing for weaknesses. I replied evenly. He was a good man. But suppressed rage simmered. His casual dismissal ignited resentment. The will reading came a week later, in a mahogany-paneled law office downtown, rain pattering against floor-to-ceiling windows like impatient fingers. The attorney, Mr. Klein, adjusted his glasses, the leather chairs creaking under our weight. Edward and Vivian sat rigid, their entitlement palpable. My invitation had shocked me. A summons via certified mail, Harlan's scrawl on the envelope. "Be there." As Klein read, tension coiled. Harlan left the bulk to charity, a slap to his son's greed. Then the bombshell. "To Sarah Ellis, my devoted caregiver, I bequeath $500,000 and my summer home in Cape Cod, in gratitude for her unwavering compassion. Gasps echoed, my world tilted. Heartbreak flooded. Tears for the man who'd seen me when others hadn't. But Edward's face twisted in fury. This is absurd. She manipulated him. Vivian's eyes narrowed, venomous. A gold digger. We'll contest this. Betrayal hit like a gut punch. Harlan hadn't just gifted me. He'd weaponized his will against his family, dragging me into their war. Inner conflict raged. Gratitude warred with fear. What if they were right? Doubt whispered I was unworthy, a pawn in his revenge. But resentment toward Edward grew. His accusations humiliated me, layering authentic pain. That night, alone in my apartment, the city sirens wailing outside, I paced the threadbare carpet. Obsession took root, researching Edward online, uncovering his embezzlement scandals hushed by Harlan's money. Fantasies of exposure danced. Leak it all, watch him crumble. Yet guilt restrained me. Harlan's deathbed plea echoed, morally gray. Had he used me to punish them? Subtle hints of vengeance emerged quietly. I met with Klein privately, the office smelling of old books and coffee. Harlan anticipated this, he confided, sliding over documents. He left evidence of Edward's misdeeds, forged signatures, hidden accounts. Dialogue revealed secrets. He said you'd know what to do. Tension heightened. Was this manipulation from beyond the grave? My response laced with suppressed rage. I don't want a fight. But inside, planning began, strategic, conflicted. I visited the Cape Cod house, a weathered Victorian overlooking crashing waves, salt air stinging my skin. Inside, dusty photos showed a younger Harlan with Edward, smiles forced. Heartbreak deepened. Their fractured bond mirrored my own absent father's abandonment. Moral conflict peaked. Revenge would honor Harlan, but at what cost to my soul? Weeks turned to quiet calculation. Edward's lawyers hounded me. Letters demanding I relinquish the inheritance, calls laced with threats. You'll regret this, Vivian hissed over the phone, her voice silky poison. Suspense built slowly. I feigned compliance in meetings, the conference room sterile and echoing, while gathering dirt. A disgruntled ex-employee whispered over greasy diner coffee. Edward skimmed millions. Harlan knew. Layers emerged. Edward's motivation. Desperation from gambling debts, Vivian's. Ambition for social status. My cold resolve hardened amid inner turmoil. Denial of my growing obsession. Fear of legal backlash. The turning point. A confrontation at the estate during inventory. Edward cornered me in the library. Shelves groaning with leather-bound tomes. Fire crackling in the hearth. You think you're family. You're nothing. His breath reeked of scotch, revealing vulnerability. Guilt over failing his father. My reply, natural yet charged. Harlan saw through you. Rage flashed in his eyes, heightening tension. As I left, rain soaking my coat, the first act of retaliation stirred. Anonymous tip to the IRS about his accounts. Quiet, strategic, emotionally conflicted. The lawsuit hit like thunder. Edward contesting the will in Suffolk County Court, the granite building looming under gray skies. Headlines screamed, caregiver versus heir, billionaire's fortune in dispute. Paparazzi flashes blinding as I navigated marble halls smelling of polish and power. Humiliation crested. Labeled a schemer in tabloids, my face splashed across screens. Inner thoughts brutalized me. Denial shattered, replaced by fantasies of justice. Ruined them as they tried to ruin me. But doubt lingered. Was I becoming the monster Harlan warned against? Obsession consumed nights, poring over documents in my dimly lit kitchen. Coffee bitter on my tongue. Court days dragged, the wooden benches hard against my back, attorneys' voices droning like bees. Vivian testified, tears artful. She preyed on his loneliness. Manipulation dripped. Her moral complexity shone, driven by fear of poverty after a lavish life. Edward's turn revealed cracks. Dad was delusional. But his fidgeting betrayed guilt. My testimony, voice steady despite trembling hands. He trusted me because you betrayed him. Tension soared. The judge's gavel echoed like fate's hammer. Outside in the courthouse cafe, steam rising from styrofoam cups, an ally emerged. Harlan's old accountant, motivated by resentment toward Edward's bullying. I have records, he muttered. Subtle foreshadowing. His hesitation hinted at hidden motives. Personal gain? Pacing intensified the slow burn. I rejected settlement offers in smoke-filled mediation rooms, Edward's pleas turning desperate. Take the $70,000 and walk. But the cash, now invested discreetly, fueled my resolve. Moral gray deepened. Revenge felt justified, yet shocking. Leaking Edward's affairs to Vivian anonymously, watching their marriage fray from afar. Fear gripped me during stakeouts, parked in shadows near their brownstone, rain blurring windshields. Inner conflict. This isn't you, guilt screamed, but heartbreak over Harlan's stolen peace pushed forward. The dramatic build-up peaked at a gala fundraiser Harlan had endowed, chandeliers glittering in the Boston Harbor Hotel, the tang of sea air mixing with perfumes. I attended incognito, a borrowed gown hugging my frame, heart pounding. Edward schmoozed donors, Vivian on his arm, their facades cracking under whispers of scandal. I approached during a lull, champagne fizzing in my glass. Enjoying the night. My tone neutral but eyes burning. Dialogue heightened suspense. You won't win, he snarled low. Harlan left me the tools to ensure I do, I replied, revealing just enough. His flinch was victory, but obsession warned, too far? Retaliation became undeniable. Using the accountant's files, I exposed Edward's embezzlement to the board of Harlan's company. Emails sent from a burner account in a dingy internet cafe. Keys clacking frantically. Chaos erupted. Stocks plummeted, headlines blaring Whitaker heir under investigation. Vivian called, voice breaking. Why? We could have shared. Her plea layered her. Betrayal by Edward's secrets fueling her own resentment. My cold response. You made your choices. But guilt twisted. Unexpected consequences loomed. The twist struck at the final hearing. Courtroom hushed, sunlight slanting through blinds like bars. Klein presented a sealed codicil from Harlan. If contested, reveal Edward's paternity. He's not mine. Vivian knew. Shock rippled. DNA tests confirmed. An affair hidden for decades. Edward crumpled, fury turning to tears. Poetic justice. Harlan's ultimate revenge, using me as conduit. But psychological impact crushed me. Heartbreak for the broken family, my role in their destruction. Vivian's glare held accusation. You enjoyed this. Moral gray resolved in tears. Revenge delivered, but at the price of my innocence. In the aftermath, the Cape House became my sanctuary. Waves crashing eternally. The $500,000 secured, but obsession faded to quiet reflection. Edward disgraced, Vivian divorced. Consequences unforeseen. Guilt lingered. Had Harlan manipulated us all? Yet in the tears a resolve. No more pawns. The emotional disturbance echoed. A visceral reminder that betrayal's cycle ends in solitude. Revenge a hollow crown.